next steps. We're going to cover quite a few things today, and we're going to go fast. So we're not, we have 90 minutes on Ginger Media to conclude today's program.
Yes.
Seb Udaja, are you there? Because I would like Seb to talk to us about the NINA's next steps, shutting down the elections and going into referendum. Why do we need to shut down the 2023 elections? You understand that what we are doing, a background to this. If you're watching this program, chances are that you already know about Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance, which is an alliance of the Middle Belt and the South of Nigeria, all the ethnic nationalities within the Middle Belt and the South of Nigeria, coming together to say that Nigeria, the Nigerian state, under the 1999 Constitution is not what our fathers agreed to. We did not go into this partnership in 1960, signing our territories and sovereignties over to this unitary mess that we see today. The Nigeria of today is not what we asked for. And the 1999 Constitution, which encapsulated all those wrongs with Nigeria, was repudiated on December 16th, 2020, with the activation of the constitutional force majeure declared by NINAS, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. Since then, we have been going through the steps. The Constitution is in dispute, and that's where we are right now. Everything that you see are the steps that take us to our full sovereignty. And Seb, are you there? Because I would like you to talk to us about the steps and why it is very critical for us to shut down the 2023 elections, what shutdown means as opposed to boycott. I would like Seb Udaja to talk to us about that. Seb, are you there? Please unmute. Let us hear you. Where's Seb? Seb, if you're there, raise your hand. Let me see you, because I'm looking for you on the long list here. Does anybody see Seb?
Yes. Yes, yes. He's unmuted now.
Okay. He's unmuted? Okay, speak up, Seb. Let's hear you.
I was crying. Please unmute me, unmute me, unmute
me. It's a lot of people here. It's quite a good number in attendance. So yes, scrolling down trying to find Seb was a challenge.
Okay,
ahead, Johnny, I will be helping you with that, Johnny, so that I'll be asking people to unmute.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you. Thank you.
It's nice seeing you guys. It's a big pleasure seeing the house full. I see Joe, Kiari, Ladipo, Chris, Gunfinya, so many of you guys. It's a pleasure seeing all of you. Why are we here? We are here for our future. We are here for the future of our children. We are here because we have we are getting more and more civilized as human beings, and as people get civilized, they get more aware of what is happening around them, and they get more aware of their situation, and they want to take control of their situation and of their lives. So we are not doing anything unusual. We are simply developing, getting away from the shitholes that we were called. We were shitholes, but today we are no more. Tomorrow we shall be no more. So how shall we stop being shitholes? That is the question. NINAS has been working on this project for the 21st year now. We have milestones of, in total, 16 of them. We are stepping out of milestone number 40, number 15, right? We are on the 15th, going to the last. The question is, why must we stop 2023 elections? It sounds so weird when Nina says this thing. But if you listen to me carefully, definitely you will understand why we must stop 2023 election. First of all, is it is it an offense? Is it a crime? No. If you remember that democracy is power of the people, by the people, for the people, right? If we remember that, then we know that our democracy lies in our hands. We have to decide for our democracy. And if anybody is telling you, hey, if you do that, you are breaking the law, which law? The fact is that we are unaware of our situation, and the military imposed on us a constitution which they concocted. And then they signed and said, we the people have agreed to live together under this constitution, and so on and so forth. We were asleep when it was happening, but we have woken up. You have woken up. I woke up some time ago and I've been knocking on doors. Wake up. And I'm happy that many of you have woken up. As you woke up and you discover that this constitution was not made by you, and we have been living under this constitution since 1999. As you woke up and you discovered that this constitution is the source of all the woes we are having today, that this constitution is the guarantor of our retrogression instead of progression, that this constitution is the cause why your relatives are in the village farming and somebody comes there, kills them, and chases them out of their villages, and nothing is done.
Hello, Seb. Can you kind of tell us who put that constitution in place, what they're using to enslave the people, and who and how they are using to enslave the people, and why we need to shut down the 2023 elections?
Okay, Jane. Fellow countrymen, imagine a situation that you are sleeping, somebody taps you on the shoulder, wakes you up, say, hey, darling, I'm your husband, or I'm your wife. And you say, what? I don't know you. And he produces a document, says, we wedded in 1999. I'm your husband. Or if you're a man, he says, I'm your wife. And henceforth, you do what I tell you to do. This constitution was not made by the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, okay? The military junta, first of all, there was a constitution that was written by two persons in 1978 under the military junta of the time, right? Then the military junta of the time of Obasanjo appointed a constituent assembly, okay? Appointed some people additionally to study that so-called 1978 constitution. When they studied it, they said, no. This is not a federal constitution. We want constitution that resembles what our forefathers agreed upon before 1960, when we had 4 regions. So they removed many things from that constitution that was prepared by 2 persons. And when they submitted their report back to the military council, the military council refused all those things they removed. They brought them back. And they used a decree to promulgate the Constitution in 1979. Okay?
Seb, can I say something?
Right?
Please.
I would like you to touch on the 2023 elections and why it is very essential to shut it down. I think.
Okay.
Yes, I would like you to go there.
Yes. Now, every 4 years, we do federal elections. On which basis do we do the federal elections? The elections are done on the basis of this constitution, which is disputed. Okay? And after the elections, whoever wins, the president, the members of the House, the senators, what do? They swear an oath, placing their hands on the Quran or on the Bible and pronouncing that they will defend this constitution. Okay? So every 4 years, the life of this constitution is renewed through the federal elections. Today, we have understood, you and me, we have understood that this constitution is fraudulent. Now, do you want to renew the life of this constitution again? That is the question. Do you want to renew the life of this constitution for another 4 years? The answer is no. Because this constitution is the cause of all our woes. We want to go back to the drawing board and create people's constitution, a constitution that is autochthonous. It starts from the indigenous peoples. They have to create their constitutions again as before independence. And based on their own constitutions, they can now agree to federate anew, and how to federate, they will write a new constitution. So very important for our survival is that we put an end to this fraudulent 1999 constitution. This is a matter of urgency, and this is a matter of civilized development. Any person telling you that you are doing something illegal, tell that person to go back to school. There are so many of us, engineers, lawyers, doctors, who are actually illiterate when it comes to awareness of our human development, societal development. Okay? Tell them we have woken up. We have realized that we have been living under a fraudulent constitution, and we want to put an end to that fraud. The way you have to put an end to that fraud is by stopping those who are going to swear oath of allegiance to that constitution, thereby renewing the life of that constitution for the next 4 years. And the next time this will happen is 2023. So you and me, we have got to stop it. We must stop 2023. If they tell you they are going to make your brother the president of Nigeria free of charge, tell them no, under this constitution, no, no. We are not going to boycott election 2023. That is a big mistake. You and me are going to stop the election. How are we going to stop this election? Let us think together. That's why we are here. How shall we stop this election? Who are the politicians? Who are the political parties? Who are they? Are they from the moon? They are from within our society, right? They come to do primaries where? Within our society, right? Are you going to allow them to continue that jamboree? Well, now that you have known that the cause of all our woes is this constitution, and that the life of this constitution gets renewed through federal elections, are you going to allow them to continue doing that thing?
Thank you very much, Seb.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Seb. Thank you. I think we hear you loud and clear. It's actually, I don't know how any public servant or public politician who professes to fight for the people that he represents would want to sign up to a constitution that oppresses the people that he says he's fighting for. I don't know, and I don't know a good explanation for it. So taking down the 1999 Constitution requires that we shut down further elections. Thank you very much. We hear that loud and clear. And anybody coming to you telling you they're going into 2023, ask them, under which constitution are you going to swear in? Because you're going to swear in. It's either yes to the 1999 Constitution or no. Is Adedoyin in the platform? Because we're going to talk about effective mobilization.
Just give me a second. I'm looking for her. Just give me a second.
Okay.
So while you look for her, I may continue to speak.
No, Seb, let's have Johnny just talk about, let's have Johnny just continue talking, please, if that's all right.
Yes. So we are at a place right now, if you have been looking at Nigeria and all the hotspots and all the things that have been going on in Nigeria, what you find is testament to the strength of the NINAS alliance. If you look at everything going on in the East, the interview the president of Nigeria held a few weeks ago, where he talked about the South, where he talked about dot in a circle and other things. I don't want to go into detail as to into that particular interview at this point. But if you look at all the condemnation coming from every sector, coming from voices in the Middle Belt, voices in the Yoruba, voices in other, in the South, it tells you that this alliance is strong. It's no longer that Nigeria where Buhari can just wave a flag and say, let's go after them. Let's go kill this small section. And everybody says, okay, let's go. No, the alliance has changed. The Middle Belt brother is my brother now. The Yoruba is my brother now, my ally now. We are in this thing together. Nobody is going to ask me from the East to go and fight Yoruba, because I will not. I will not go with you. Nobody is going to ask me to go kill people in the Middle Belt, because I will not go with you. And that is a very strong alliance. The condemnation to what the president is doing is a testament to the strength of the NINAS alliance. That we should give ourselves a hand for that. Yes, is Adedoyin available?
I don't see her yet.
Okay, how about Thomas? Thomas can talk to us about the engagement on ground with youth. Is Thomas there? I see.
Yes, Thomas is there. Thomas is from the Middle Belt, and he has been very outspoken about the NINAS message and bringing the youth into the program. So he's going to speak a little bit today about how he's going about doing that. He's also a pastor, so he's got quite a bit of experience in both those areas. Thomas, can you unmute?
You've got to unmute him.
I'm going to unmute. Okay, Thomas, unmute, please. And Akuche, Akuche, please, I'll be calling upon you after Thomas. Is Thomas ready?
I'm trying to see if he is.
Thomas is still muted. I'm going to ask you again to unmute. Please unmute, Thomas.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Good.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I will just share briefly with us what I've been doing and what I'm currently doing about engaging the youth and the entire people from the Middle Belt. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I have intensified my awareness and campaign on what NINAS is doing, especially to end this corruption, the constitutional corruption, and the election that is coming. Now, I have discovered from my findings that already some political leaders who are vying for positions have started going from one place to another, especially in the villages in the Middle Belt around Adamawa and part of Borno. So I have strategically engaged the Khan in those zones, the Khan leaders. Now I am working with them, and they are also creating awareness to other pastors and church members in virtually every of the gatherings that are taking places right now. Part of what will form that gathering is the message from NINAS. And that has been done, and we're still working on that. And again, bringing the youth together from the Middle Belt. I'm engaging them on the social media, direct phone calls, interacting with them and telling them they need to join NINAS in fighting and bringing to an end this political 419 in Nigeria. So we have done that, and in fact, hopefully before the end of next week, we are going to extend our WhatsApp groups, because already we are almost reaching the maximum number WhatsApp can contain. So we plan to have group 1, group 2, 3 like that for Middle Belt. So these are basically things I am doing, engaging the youth in the Middle Belt to be part of this movement. Just yesterday, we formed another coalition group, particularly from the southern Borno, cut across 3 different local governments. So we have formed a group. We tagged the group actually with a name, different name, but our emphasis is NINA's message. And having got that, I am also engaging our people from the Middle Belt that are away from the country in diaspora. I have linked with a doctor who is a prominent person from the Middle Belt from southern Borno. And through him, he has also helped us to rebroadcast the message. And right now, as I'm talking to you, the message of NINAS has entered the nooks and cranny of the southern Borno and part of Adamawa, Jos, and southern Kaduna. So I'm working with leaders. The former retired Kokin president, the privilege I have as a pastor, has actually given me access to these people. So I give them the message, and they have also been faithful to communicating the same message of what NINAS is doing. So at the moment, most importantly, signing the online petition. Already, we have a database that has over 5,000 people right now. So in this coming week, I have volunteered, and I also got some people to help me. We are going to do a massive signing of that petition online, because already we have created a database from the Middle Belt, and we'll keep updating the database until we have every single person that has had the message to sign the petition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Pastor Thomas,
Yes, sir.
I really applaud what you are doing.
Thank you,
Taking the bull by the horn, taking responsibility for your space and reclaiming it for future generations.
Yes, sir.
The history books written 1,000 years from now will have some of your names in them. Future generations will celebrate what you are doing today, because this is the single most effective thing that you can do for our people.
Yes, sir.
A people under bondage sometimes don't even know they are under bondage. You are the one that God has given the grace to understand what is at stake and how to solve that problem. And I am so happy and grateful that you stepped on it. And all glory and praise be to God. Thank you so very much for what you're doing.
Amen. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Do we have Adedoyi here? If not, Akuche, Eze, are you here?
Akuche is here, and she's unmuted now, I believe.
She's unmuted. Akuche, please tell us about Volley. Tell us about all of the great things you have done, you're doing. I see the interviews, and I'm just excited about Akuche. Eze, please speak to us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Volley Media is the voice of Liberty International, and that is the voice of the Lower Niger, the ethnic nationalities within the Lower Niger blocks. So everyone represented here, all of us combined, NINAS, everyone, we're the voice of the NINAS Alliance. Now, this is very important. A lot of people might wonder, why do we need that? It's very important at the time like this, where you heard what Pastor Thomas just said, the mobilization that is going forth. Our people are looking for information, and we know that information is power. We do not want people to go out there and get information from, I apologize for that, a call was coming into my phone. We do not want people to go looking for information from other sources that could deter them, from our goal, right? We know of a certain individual who has used this medium of information to reach out to so many people and giving them wrong and false narratives and information. That is why Volley Media is committed to bringing messages of hope, messages of trust, and messages of truth. At a time like this, where it is so critical in the steps that we're taking to getting our freedom from Nigeria, we need this time so that our people can come together, we can share information, and we can also support each other, because support is very, very important. When someone comes, what's this about? We have a question about this, and we need a platform where indigenous nationalities will be free to speak. So this is what Volley Media represents, and this is what Volley Media stands for. So it is not an Akuche program. It's not a particular. It's for all of us. So as much as possible, please go and subscribe on the YouTube channel. It's called Volley Media. Our YouTube channel. We have a few videos on there now. We are on Facebook, Volley Media. We are on Twitter. We just opened a Twitter page. We are on Instagram, because social media is such a powerful tool, and this is a tool that people. That's why the federal government is trying to shut social media down, because they know the power of social media. So that is Volley in a nutshell, and that is what we represent. We are part of the NINAS Alliance. We are the voice for the people. We are your voices. Just on a side note, I just wanted to quickly chip this in. I encourage every one of us, since the introduction of cell phones and internet and all and that and things like that, we have all become journalists in our own rights. We have all become, we're able to get information, disseminate information in a second. So I just wanted to encourage all of us that when you are online, doing your social media business, and you come across information or people that are asking, or you see someone someone contesting, right? Someone from the alliance territories contesting for presidency or running for elections and all of that. We know now that we're stopping, we're not boycotting, but we're stopping 2023 elections, right? That is our main focus now. When you see things like that, please, I encourage you as a voice of the ethnic nationality, speak up. Use the power that you have. You have a lot of power in your hands, the power of social media. Tweet something about that. Say something on Instagram about that. Say something on leave a comment. Don't just look at it and pass, because you know what? If you're able to reach one person, that's all it takes. That one person can reach others, and then we keep going, right? So that's all it is in a nutshell. Thank you for bringing me on to explain that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Akuche Eze. Thank you very much.
If I can make just one comment to what Akuche has said. We do have quite a few people that are on Twitter, but some of the things that is missing is being able to tag people when you send your messages. In as with any social media, as Akuche is shaking her head now, whether it's Facebook, when you tag, you can directly send your message. So you can send your message to the UN, you can send the message to the ICC, to the senators, you can send that message to the presidents of the various countries. You can send it to all the major churches. So it's important for us to learn how to use social media. And I know Akuche is going to be helping us to put together some training on using Instagram, because she's got a large following there, and Instagram is fairly interactive. And we also have training on Twitter that we will be providing to everyone, so that you can actually learn how to do those types of things to get messages far and wide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen. Do we have Boye on the meeting? Boye, to talk to us about outreach through blogging, podcasts, and radio.
I don't see him yet, but Honorable Ogaraku is on, so we can go to him while Boye and Adedoyin are trying to sign on. I'm talking to them, and they're trying to sign on.
Okay, Honorable Ogaraku, talk to us about using flyers effectively to main languages, including Pidgin English, the effective use of flyers. Honorable Ogaraku, please unmute.
I'm here, brother. I'm here. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you, everybody, and thank for this wonderful participation. We have 100 people online here, direct participation. That's great. I am happy what have been happening in the recent time, mostly starting from the western side of the alliance, and what is trying to pick up even in the end, and maybe trying to grow even in the middle belt, and then we hope after the slaughter in the southeast, we'll be able to have an opportunity to do the things that need to be done. Yes, before now, as you can see in most of our platforms, there are many ways we have been trying to reach our people. And also some people said, in fact, that was one of the issues that was raised, and one used monetization. And another person reacted, do you think people can be able to understand this word monetization, what it means? That's exactly trying to communicate effectively. You have to speak to the people with the language to understand. In fact, recently I saw a young man who interpreted the Bible in Pidgin English. And it is in online, I believe most of you may have seen it. And he said that Pidgin English is our language, is a language people will understand. That sometimes when you speak with them, the King James English and what they call it, New Standard Version, or every attempt made to bring a Bible down, that maybe some people doesn't understand it. By the time you write it in a simple, common English, it doesn't make it to lose its substance. You try to even sometimes dramatize information to be able to get to the people. So yes, we've been reaching out, and this is exactly what we want everybody to do. Talk to the people with the language, in the environment, in the circumstance they will understand. We know there's places you may not even be able to have rally for certain circumstances. That's why I said maybe in the Southeast, after their murderous attempt program is over, we can be able to reach out. I know some of the things that are happening there is not only I believe everything they see now that seems to work against or trying to push these ideas. I know it will be part of the things they are eliminating people for. So I know in the Southeast we are still low. I can understand. But in the starting from the Western side, we are, and I want to thank Lady Uwache, what is her name? The producer, one of the presenter in the Volley TV, producing from Abuja, and making the message in the language people understand, the tune people understand, and the way people understand. So we're talking of flyers. What is flyers? Flyers is write-outs that can be given out to people to read or see images or see informations. Just like it is if you go to our Twitter handles, there are more there. And then many people who are following us in the Twitter handles effectively are following the informations, what we have done, what we are doing, what we are about to do. People need to be carried along, and the information need to be carried along, because for you to be able to communicate is when you are saying that somebody is understanding you. And for somebody to understand you, he has the right to ask you questions. No question is stupid, I must tell you, because everybody's understanding are not the same. So whenever you talk to somebody and ask you a question, honestly, that simply means the person is paying attention. Please have patience to speak to that person. Respond to whatever. Don't look at any question as being stupid. So, but sometimes flyers speaks more than even oral questions, because maybe when you have flyers with images that explain things one after the other, that one will from time to time make reference to it. In fact, I remember the story in the past where one illiterate rich man, every day in the morning, he will buy a newspaper and then turn it upside down. And he will tell you, Zeke has said something today. And you ask him, what did the Zeke say? He said, take it and read. Okay? So the flyer does a lot of things. First of all, maybe somebody who is convinced about the program of NINAS, whether he has the literacy or the language to be able to say it. By the time he has a flyer, he will be telling you what he knows. And when you want to know more, he will give you that flyer. And then maybe you can read the flyer and even read better or understand even the issue better. I've been talking to people in the recent time, and whenever issue comes, I will try to give the lectures as we have it, as much as I can be able to do. And at the end, the person will tell you, okay, give me something to read. What I know is that most of the people, when you send them our link that has the email addresses of all our links from the constitutional force majeure to NINAS to Freedom for Nigeria, to Christian Life Matters, to all, we have a link that has all the, most of them cannot read it. They don't even go back to read it. Go back to them in 2-3 days and say, have you gone through our documents? And he will tell you, okay, I believe you. Because he's no longer going to read there. I have heard you very well. But when he has this document backing it, even when he reads it or not, he thinks he has a point of reference in case somebody asks more about. In fact, he will do the same thing you may have done, and then to teach others. Then there are those people who are literate enough. When you send this type of document, they read more on it and understand. So the flyers are such instrument that will be a practical approach to our people. It should be better done in all the languages. We said we have 300 languages, and more importantly, within our territory of almost 70-80% of the population today, we have almost 200 of these 300 languages, if not more. So if we can have these flyers in these languages, but we know it has its own cost to go through these languages. So we go from the major ones, as the case may be today: English, Pidgin English, Igbo, Yoruba, and then different languages, Anam, Efik, BBO, Ijaw, every language that is there, we go about it. And then it's also necessary to get somebody who knows the rudiment of a given language to be able to put it, because if it is in the language of my birth, they said among the Igbos, the art of conversation is regarded very highly. And the proverb are the palm oil with which Igbo words are eaten. So once you speak our language and add a proverb, 2, 3 proverb, you have said more than what 10 pages will say. So we will try to get it to those languages and know how each language get to the people's rudiment, to their best of understanding. And even there's a dramatic, you can even present it dramatically, the way it will make things easy to people to understand. So what we're trying to say now, these flyers are necessary and we are working on them. A good number of them will be coming out by next week. And we expect everybody to be part of it. Even if you are here, be able to reach to your own people. Recently, we have all these programs that we want to use to engage our young adults. Because he said he can't ask, our people say if you ask a child to go and get a smelling rat, I don't even know what it's called in English.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yes?
Thank you,
Honorable. Let me conclude. Okay. So whenever, if you want to lead a child to get such a smelling animal, you must be able to give him water to wash his hand. So we want to also empower our youth. By the time they are empowered, they also learn what we are doing and support it because they are not hungry. However, the flyer is a very practical instrument to be able to reach to the people and then be a tangible instrument for them to be able to take the message along. Once again, thank you for the opportunity. And God bless.
Thank you very much. I see. Thank you very much, Honorable Ogaraku. Boyin Oladoku, I see you. You ready for me?
Sure. Good evening. I'm here. I'm ready.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm very great. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes.
Talk to us about podcasts, blog outreach through blogging, podcasts, radio.
Sorry, Johnny, this is not Boye, this is Adedoyin. She's actually going to be talking about the circle of influence.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, go ahead, please.
Good evening once again. My name is Adeboyin Oladokun. I will be talking to us, we'll be interacting on the topic circle of influences. When I say it's not an influence, but circle of influences, which implies that there are different circles we all belong to. You have your circle of influence, I have my circle of influence. And for us to reach the pinnacle of our dream in NINAS, we need to do active mobilization through our circle of influences. So the first circle I'm going to be talking about is the political circle. And from my experience as having contested in the last election as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019, I came third out of the 17 contestants. I can tell you what are the possible approach we put in place to ensure that we have a seamless group or a system that is sustainable. The first thing I want to talk about is that every state has at least about 33 local governments. So we'll take the bull by the horn by appointing local government chairman for the group in each of the locations, in each of the states. From the local government, we have what we call the ward chairman. So we have up to about 10 to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 10 to 12 wards per local government. And then under the wards, we have the units. So we have the unit leader in each of the wards representing our interests. The unit leaders are directly responsible. They are directly responsible to the grassroots. The unit leader reports directly to the ward chairman, and the ward chairman invariably reports to the local government chairman. The local government chairman also reports to the state chairman. So this is the structure we put in place, which made it so possible for us. If I say now that, okay, I'll need about 5,000 people to meet me in a particular place within a particular time, as long as I can provide the finances in terms of the transport and other logistic with feeding, they will surely make themselves available for that. So we need political structure in a way that will help our mobilization and that will assist us to get to the grassroots. It is noteworthy that some of the people we are going to be using are not even on the net at all. A number of them they cannot speak any other language but their local language. Some of them could not even speak Pidgin we are talking about. They will prefer us to address them in our local dialects. So it is important that each of us must learn how to communicate effectively to our people in our local dialects, wherever we are representing, whether we are from any region, we should be ready to speak our local dialect so that we can cascade the message to the grassroots. So I haven't talked about the political structure. The last structure is the unit, which made it so easy for you to gather a number of houses together and then they form the unit. That's the last group that I've spoken about. That's the first structure is the political structure. Now, the second structure that we are looking at for proper and effective mobilization, we're talking about finance mobilization. The finance mobilization. So we are talking about how to mobilize finance. With God, nothing shall be impossible, but we need to understand that each of us have our circle of influence. For example, I was once a managing director of an organization, and in that circle, the people below the line, they happen to be people that will be willing, anything coming from you, they want to hear you. So we can use our circle of influence in raising finance. Or for example, there are people we have met with Christians who are not willing to come out into the open, but they want to support you secretly. They are just like secret disciples. They can be imam, they can be Muslims too, who are willing to support you, but they cannot come out boldly, but they want to give out their money to supporting what this belief of ours, to supporting Ninas or to supporting our, going against this constitutional fraud that has been on ground for a while. So for me, the second step we need to consider is finance is very sacrosanct if we must move forward. And a tree cannot make a forest. We cannot say, okay, the person whom God has given this vision to will certainly be the one that will be responsible for the finance of this work that is on ground. This work is a vision from God, I believe. And I believe that if we are united together, we'll be able to achieve a lot. Now, in financial aspect of it, we can start sending our team leaders to go and meet. Okay, for example, in Yoruba land, when you get to a particular level, you tend to be known. A number of people will know you. So you share the vision of Ninas in a teamwork, maybe about 7 or 10 people coming together. And you will tell, do you know so and person? I know this person. I know this person. Let's put it down in writing. Then we're going to be visiting them in their respective offices, speaking to them about what we stand for, and then convincing them so that they can also be a part of the move by giving their quotas into what we are about to do. Now, without money, mobilization will be very, very difficult for us. I spent a lot in the last election. This is not bribe. I'm not talking of bribe this time around. These are people, when you go to mobilize them in different locations, they will tell you that I have not eaten since morning. They will tell you that my child is sick. I needed to pay for the child's medical. I need to pay for the medical costs. And some people will say, I have not eaten since yesterday. And then you cannot hear such, and you just tell them, come and hear what I have to offer you. They won't listen to you. The first thing is that they will want you to fix their problem. And until you fix their problem, any other thing you're telling them, they aren't willing to listen. So for a whole 1 year, I was going to villages, I was going to cities, I was going to places, spending hundreds of, we spent a whole lot. Not that all this many 100% came from me, but people believe in one part-time also supported the process. Now, this is how to raise finance for each of, for this noble work. And then the last thing I want to be talking about is not just raising finance, but we have our circle of influence, our peer influence as we are growing up. For example, there are whole school associations. Some people belong to some boys high school, low school. And then some people belong to secondary school. They belong to some group. Some people in the university, they belong to a group. And then we can approach also this peer group of ours as we are growing for either understanding and bringing them to the limelight of NINAS or contributing to the success of this whole process financially. So this is also another step we can take. The last one is the religious circle that I want to be talking about. Some of us, like I said, we are pastors, we are imams, we belong to a community, we belong to a church, we belong to a group.
Excuse me, Boyin. Sorry, Boyin. We do have Joseph Carey that's going to talk about the church. So if you could round up, please, that would be awesome. Because we do have Joseph Carey that's going to be talking about the religion.
That's all right. If somebody will be talking about the religion, there's no point to repeating that. That person will come up to talk about it. But I haven't mentioned all these things, the political cycle, the how to raise finances, and then through the peer influence, through our group. I think by now I will stop. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. And I just a point. I want to listening to our sister speak tells me something. It gives me joy and hope. What it tells me is this is how you know those involved in politics who are actually there for the people. She tried to be a senator, right? Now, if you saw her standing with others, you would think, well, these are all politicians. But what you have seen her do now, what she is doing tells you that this is someone who wants the best for other people. This is somebody in the political terrain. And I tell a lot of people, politicians, and I tell them what NINAS is doing is not destroying politics. Whatever emerges out of what NINAS is doing, the sovereignty, the nation or nations or whatever is going to come out of NINAS through referendum is going to be a democratic system. And that democratic system is going to need people in politics. What we are doing is changing the platform upon which that politics is played. Because right now it is a fraudulent platform. It's just like playing soccer in a field that is corrupt, in a field that is not level. You're expecting the ball to bounce here, it bounces and it goes another direction. That is the platform upon which our politics is played today. When we correct the core problem, the constitutional framework, and sit our nation on our nations on the platform that it can sustain development, progress, civilization, you will see really good leaders emerge. They are out there, but they can't function in this current environment because it is not conducive for good governance and good politics. Thank you very much, our sister Boyin Oladoku. Thank you. And so many people have been...
You. I'm grateful.
Yes, thank you. So many people have been reaching out to us, talking about they can't get into the meeting. And the limit is 100 on this Zoom platform today. So many people are trying to get in and they can't. And we are going to try to expand it for future meetings. But if you cannot come into the Zoom meeting, please join through, go to Njenje Media and watch it live. We would love to hear you. I regret that many of you cannot join, but the 100 number that Honorable Ogorako mentioned is actually the limit. We actually got to that limit today, to that threshold today. And is Pastor Carey there? I would like to unmute you so we can.
We have
okay, yes.
Pastor Carey and we have Boye. Boye is on.
Okay, is Boye on? Okay, so let's go to Boye. Boye, we were trying to reach you earlier. Of course, you know technology and networks in Nigeria.
He couldn't get on because of the limit. Somebody dropped off, so he jumped in right away.
So he's able to come in. Okay.
Yeah, same thing with Boeing too.
Okay.
We had to sneak them in.
So if you can't get in, just keep trying. Somebody will, a network could sabotage someone, which is regrettable, and then you can come in.
Okay, we do have Joseph is unmuted while I find where Boye is.
Okay, Joseph Carey, Pastor.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny, and thank you, Jen, and thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to talk about the role of the church. The church is actually a very important organ in our society, and it's quite vital to achieving the goals of NINAS, in the sense that if you look at what is happening every year, every cycle of an election, politicians actually go from church to church to canvass for votes, to canvass for support. And they use the church as a springboard, rightly or wrongly. And even the previous election, we can see that there had to be an alliance with I'm not going to mention the particular church, but a massive church that has the largest followership in Nigeria and probably worldwide, to be able to gain the vote of the church. And so as a pastor, what the strategy is to start at the local assembly and educate the people about the fraudulent constitution and the need to stop the elections 2023, because already we can hear and see that the politicians are going about already starting to reach the circle. So the local assembly is very important. But also we need to stretch our tentacles to different bodies and organizations. For example, I am privileged to lead an apostolic and prophetic network meetings, and many of the members are Nigerian pastors. And there are other bodies. We have like a global prayer network, and many of the pastors are Nigerians, and there are other churches. So what we do is to send the message to the pastors, because the pastors have large influence on their membership, and they also have access to the network within their own local assembly or within their own, what you may call denomination or a body. So it's very important to educate the pastor, because my understanding is that some pastors are skeptical, there's skepticism. There's also ignorance in the church a lot. And that's also what we call the crowd followership or bandwagon effect. Because, for example, if my pastor is a senator, for example, from a particular church, so the tendency is that the pastors of that church would tend to believe everything they hear from that pastor about what is happening in Nigeria and that the constitution should remain as it is. And for example, one of the experiences I've had is that once we talk about the fraudulent election constitutions, some pastors think as pastors, we don't need to do advocacy, we don't need to speak against evil in the society. But it's actually our responsibilities as pastors, so educating the pastors to look at what the apostles did, what even Jesus did. He challenged the authority of the day about the hypocrisy. So this constitution is hypocritical. It's a gagging. It's an enslavement, and the Lord does not want enslavement. He wants us to be free. So, and the nation is at its precipice, and the only way Ninas has that solution. So, as a pastor, my responsibility, and I'm sure there are quite a few pastors on this platform, we need to educate. The pastors have the right for advocacy, right to educate the people, to mobilize, to do grassroots support in our meetings, in conferences, and talk about it without any fear or favor, without thinking they're being political. I mean, political correctness should stop in church. I tell people, Jesus was not politically correct. The apostles were not politically correct. The prophets of old, the true prophets, are not politically correct people. So we should stop being politically correct and say this constitution is fraudulent. The election should not happen. We need the indigenous Nigerians to take control back. And that is the message I'm sending to a number of our pastors. And I want other pastors to do the same thing, to send the message weekly, daily, through different mediums, through conferences, through seminars, through workshops. And I believe that once the church is mobilized, there's a tendency that the principles or the goals or the strategies of Ninas will be achieved. So that's what I would say. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more to that, because everyone here is a vehicle for this message, right? Whether you are part of the church, right? Your church, you've got a pastor in your church, you've got a congregation in your church, you've got your children in the children's ministry. It is up to us to reach out to each and every one of these. That's our circle of influence, as Boyan was talking about previously, right? That's a circle of influence. It's right there. Reach out to those people on the ground so that they can start reaching out to the congregations. The church is everywhere. And Thomas talked about that as well. Pastor Thomas, as it spoke about earlier. Yeah. We need to all reach out to our individual churches. Every one of you is a force in mobilizing the masses. So we encourage you all to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Pastor Carey. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, to hear from you. What you shared with us is a very a necessary perspective that we must all hear, especially those who lead churches. I mean, think about this. This is somebody comes to you and says, Pastor, things are really tough on me. I am going through a litany of problems. And you look at those problems, they are tied to joblessness. They are tied to poor healthcare. They are tied to bad roads. They are tied to poor educational system. They are tied to a horrible infrastructure. They are tied to a bad economy. They are tied to insecurity. They are tied to all those things. You, as an intelligent pastor, a wise man, knows that God has already, this is not God now. This is man-made. These are man-made problems. So what you're doing is addressing the man-made thing, because we cannot take everything to God when God has already given us the power to change our circumstances. What you are being is practicable, and I applaud you for it. Because people want all these good things. Look at me here in Texas. I don't have a network problem. My light is on. The road, I can't remember the last time I hit a really big bump on the road. I don't have to dodge pools of water when I'm driving. That is man-made civilization. God gave us the same, God gave us even more resources than it gave Texas. You get the point. So fixing the ground is very critical. And to our spiritual leaders, this is your call. This is your call. Answer this call and let the people know, let my people go was done here on earth. God gave the instruction, but somebody now had to go and say, let my people go. And that is where we are. Let my people go in terms of release us from the chains of this 1999 Constitution so we can build the society, the economy, the civilization that we desire and that we deserve. God bless you, Pastor. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Yes.
Okay, Boye is in. Boye, I've been asking you to unmute. Are you having a difficult time unmuting?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, Boye, wait, are you there? There you are. Unmute, please. Can hear you.
You are muted again. You need to unmute.
Okay, yes. Yes, he was telling me the host was not allowing me to get him earlier. I guess it was an online glitch. So Jean said I should come and talk about setting up personal podcasts. And I guess it's in the light of the fact that all these messages we're going to be sending out, a podcast is a very veritable tool to use to push the messages either live or recorded. We talked about it's like personal radio stations that anybody can set up. You just need a few simple things. If you can get the kit, if you can't get the kit, you can use your laptop. And you can sign up on. You have hundreds of podcast sites. You have those on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, SoundCloud, and the registration is free. When you have different kinds of messages like the ones we want to push for NINAS on the ground, you can record your messages. You can record what we're advocating for in terms of the constitutional, bringing down the constitution and getting something good out to Nigerians, because we have so many. As at last month, I think we're about 211 Nigerians in Nigeria across the world. So the mass mobilization, we're going to have to use a huge amount of free opportunities and tools online. And using a podcast is one of the few strategies that are going to work for everyone. If you have your data and you're online, you can just type podcast, and you can it will give you a list of podcasts where you can register, sign up free, register free. Then if you want to take it beyond that, maybe if you want to do videos, then you can now pay some subscriptions, which are basically less than $1 or $2, in some cases $4. So Jean, I hope I am in track with my expectations in terms of explaining setting up of this podcast and why, since we cannot have a radio station, we've done research for a lot of that, and because this is we are pushing a program which we know the current government they have their reservations about it. So using a podcast is also a very easy way for us to be able to work and increase our recruitment on the number of people who are going to sign up with us.
So what kind of tools are they going to need, and how do they get the information out to people?
Okay, basic equipment, a PC or a laptop. If you have a personal PC or laptop, You're going to have your personal internet data. You can use your phone if you have enough data on the phone. It doesn't take too much data because it's basic audio. You have to have enough space to record. You have some podcast tools and software you can easily get online. You have trial versions, which are basically free. You can also still buy some of those. That's you can also, instead of having just a personal one, you can also develop yours by paying for a subscription for a hosting. You have host podcasts online. So you're actually using their platform and pushing your own podcast. Now, what the podcast helps you do is it helps you collate all your messages, either live or recorded, and you can push to as many of our target audience that we're looking at. We've in the past speakers talked about specialized groups, the church, associations, school associations, social organizations. Now, sometimes you may not be able to be there. Some of these recorded podcasts have links, and you can push the links to those platforms, either WhatsApp groups or if you have other means of communicating generally. In that way, we can push as many messages as we can. Now, the other tools you will need are the basic audio equipment. If you go online, there are some podcast kits. If you go to Gigi or some other, or Amazon or Alibaba, you have some simple podcast kits you can buy. Everything's together. And then you have instructions that tell you how to use them. It comes with the audio tuner. It comes with the earphones, headphones. It comes with a mic with a stand that you can put on the table. You can do your podcast on your dining table, at your desk in the office. You can even do it in your car. Once you connect all these equipment to your laptop, and when you do that, it comes also with a free software where everything you are talking about is recorded, and you can push it out through any means, YouTube, Facebook, all social media platforms. So it basically helps us disseminate a lot of the messages as far and wide as we can, and we can all do it personally. So as I said, let me quickly recount some of the equipment I said. Your personal PC in the house or laptop, the podcast kit, which comprises of the audio tuner. What the audio tuner does is that it allows you to adapt your microphone and your headphones with your laptop and also, or your PC, and also helps you connect, make sure that they sync with the software, where it's very simple. It's not so techy as you may think. And almost anybody can work with it. So you have your own personal radio station in the house, and you can develop as many messages for numerous as possible and push to your select target audience, depending on where the location or which target group you are assigned or you feel that you have the ability to reach out to. I guess basically those are the things you need. As I said, there are a lot of podcast hosting sites online, and they are free. Just have your data, your laptop, and the basic audio equipment, and you can go to town. Thank you.
Awesome. Boye, could you possibly, type into the chat that information, some of that information, so people would have that?
Let me see.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Johnny?
Yeah, thank you, Boye. Thank you very much. And we are going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. We're doing 90 minutes today. And I wanted to bring up a topic on which was the president's address to the nation, the interview with the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, about a week ago. In fact, the whole nation had been talking about it, home and abroad. And I would like to get some thoughts on that meeting. And I would also like to talk about what it means to me as an individual. What I saw from that interview is the president confirming everything we have said about him and his agenda. This is a Fulani president driving an ethnic agenda against the rest of us. That came out very clear. Another thing that came out very clear is that this is a president who wants to fight a fight, who wants to engage in a fight that he is comfortable with, a fight he is very well equipped to win, which is physical war. A president talking about a section of his country as though he was talking about a foreign country in war mode. That is where Buhari was. It tells me that this is a president who understands that the foundations of the nation have been shattered with the constitutional dispute by Ninas. This is a president who has not, you have not heard him publicly talk about Ninas or the constitutional force majeure. And yet, this is the one issue that is driving everything that he has been doing, including trying to get a constitutional amendment through the Constituent Assembly. This is the force that is driving everything that he is doing, and he is scared of this battle because he cannot fight back. The caliphate has lost this one. The foundation, us knowing that the constitution is a fraud, we cannot go back to not knowing it anymore. We know what our rights are now. And him trying to drag a certain section of a section of the country into a physical war, so he can beat an organization and pretend like he conquered Igbo or Ndi Igbo in there. You know, he's out there engaging one organization, and then he is making it look as though every Igbo person, unlike me, is a member of that organization. That's telling us that this is someone who is trying to divert attention to the defeat that he has already experienced. Folks, this is very real. This is the effort that is going to change Nigeria. This is an effort that is going to secure our sovereignties. This is Ninas. This is the solution to all these problems that we have been lamenting about. There is no pulling back. This is Ninas, ladies and gentlemen. I see a comment from Nonye Niyi. Please, I see some hands raised, and we're going to take questions at this point. I'm going to ask you, Nonye, to unmute and ask your question.
Hello.
Oh, please,
Hello.
Can we see you? Can we see you? Can you turn on your video?
No, I'm in Nigeria.
Okay,
in
okay.
Lagos.
Okay. Network.
As usual. Yes.
Network.
But
Go ahead.
Network, NEPA. It's night here. Anyway.
That's a true Nigerian. That's a Nonye Niyi Afola. That's your Punem. Yes.
Yes. Nonye Niyi Afolabi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So mixed from both Odua block and Lower Niger.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Really. What you're saying about the Constitution and Buhari's message or interview or whatever. Actually, I didn't listen to it because I don't like listening to such, so that I don't raise my blood pressure. But I have a concern. When we say that the Constitution has been brought down, it has been brought down. What is remaining is for it to be adopted. I don't quite understand what that means, because when these people are still planning everything with this Constitution, they are trying to just do us. The more you look, the less you see with these amendments or whatever they are doing, and everything is still proceeding for them to go on to 2023 and organize the election, take whatever they want to do and continue. You know, because if this election, if you come to this election, everything, of course, there will be no change, because that is just going to hand over to another person to, you know, because right now, you know, what we have in Nigeria is not the president. What we have is the presidency. So just one of them from the presidency will just become the figurehead, and everything will continue. So let me understand what is meant by this adoption of the bringing down of the constitution, the force majeure, you know. Then again, I want to say something to what the reverend said, the pastor said about people, you know, preaching in us in the churches. And I wanted to say, well, because some churches, you know, that churches are not just their branches, they have their head somewhere, and any pastor, you know, I mean, you need to obey, do what is right from the head. And if it proves so difficult to get permission for such to be preached or something, then I believe that the priest, the pastor in charge, could get someone else, and then probably after the service or something, you know, then talk to the people, even if it means outside the building of the church, outside the church itself, by the compound.
Okay, Nonya.
Yeah.
Okay, Nonya. Because of time, we're going to. Who would like to take that question? The first question on I can talk to you about the constitutional force majeure. If you look at the Constitution of Nigeria, this was made by individuals.
Yeah.
Headed by the military.
Yeah.
A constitution is the social contract. In other words, some people got together and said, this is the constitution upon which the nation is going to sit.
Yeah, I got that. But when you say it has been brought down, I get it.
What we have is a constitutional dispute. We have said now that there is a dispute on that constitution. If there's a dispute, it is up to us to determine what that dispute means. Does that dispute mean we continue to engage on the basis of that constitution or on a different basis? The moment a group came out, the moment people, like if you look at this platform right now, this is every group in Nigeria, in the Alliance territory represented. This is the majority of Nigeria. It is what we are saying that matters. It is we coming out to say the constitution that was not made by us. We have repudiated it. So it does not have the legs that it was sitting on before. And what we are managing now are the steps to where that constitution, where we do not descend into anarchy. We are not anarchists. That we are getting into now the place where our people understand what they have, and then our people stand on that truth to the point where everything is now, we have then that to where that constitution is no longer the basis upon which we are conducting business on a daily basis. Does anyone have anything to add to that? Jane, do you have anything to say to that?
Well, one of the key things that we have to remember is that, as Johnny said, this is a social contract. And so in contract law, if something is wrong with a contract, then the contract can be ended. So what the constitutional force majeure is putting that particular law into place, because in this case, this constitution is a forgery. There was no referendum, there were no plebiscites, and those are required to be able to put a constitution in place. And then even when you look inside the Constitution, there are too many places where the information there, as independently asserted by the United Nations Special Rapporteur, that indicated that the constitutional arrangement in Nigeria was a powder keg, and it was, and it is, based on injustice. Okay, what that means, a very simple thing, and Dr. Clifford Irania was in previously. I don't see him now because he can add to that as well. You have a constitution where all of the benefits of the citizens are negated under Section 6, subsection 6C. Really? Will citizens do that to themselves? You have a constitution where federal character cannot be enforced. Nigerians are talking about federal character. They didn't realize that that's actually gone. But most importantly, you have a constitution where the self-determination rights of the ethnic nationalities, the Middle Belt, the Lower Niger, the Yoruba, which previously we had the Western region, the Eastern region, and the Midwestern region, their rights to their government to determine their political future, cultural, religion, has been taken away without their consent. So that constitutional force majeure is what rejects that constitution as the basis for Nigeria, because it was not made by the people. And that's why you see the Nigerian government scrambling to try to do amendments, to try to isolate just the Igbos in a certain area, not even all Igbos, but just in a certain area as they had done before, trying to break this alliance that you see here where everyone is represented. It's the
Thank you very much
of that CFM.
Thank you very much. He came on that interview talking about trying to divide us, trying to turn the Southeast against the South-South, trying to say all kinds of things. That was his game plan. That's what he was executing. So that is what they are doing. This is the big headache in Abuja right now, the constitutional force majeure. Look at the Nigerians who endorsed, who signed, who participated in making that constitution, and look at the caliber of Nigerians who signed the repudiation of the constitution through the force majeure. Look at them. Just go and look at that signatory list and see who is involved in this effort. And you realize that this is a very serious matter. These individuals would not put their pen to paper if they had not done their research very well and known the power of it. It's just for our people to understand that this is a currency that is in our pocket, money that's in our pocket. Is just to actualize it on is what we. I mean, just to be able to now know what it is and apply it. I saw Clifford Irania. I think we have been a bit clear on that. Cliff, if you want to mute yourself and talk about this, I think that'll probably take a little bit of time. But Cliff, are you there? Do you have like a minute to talk to us about that also?
I am.
You can speak.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
All right. I think I understand the question the lady was asking. I think the question is more of what now or what next. I think if I heard her clearly, she was asking what next. That's a way of summarizing her question. Well, dear sister, the sovereignty disputes, which resulted to declaration of constitutional force majeure, metamorphosed into a three-stage action. Please, I need you to kind of listen carefully so that you know what next. Three-stage action. The first one was the 90-day time of grace given to federal government to meet up with the 5 demands. And thereafter, there was a 30-day period for our own people in the political realm, our politicians, our representatives in the government and other places, 30 days for them to consult with us. And that 30 days elapsed. So beginning from April 17, 2021, there is 120 days given generally now, both the federal government, our politicians, the international community, for everybody to come and let us talk about this and, try and forge a way forward, especially in the light of the 5 demands by the alliance territory. So what now is that we have 120 days counting down, beginning from April 17, 2021. At the end of that 120 days, then we will have no option than to, begin to put in place what we said in the declaration, the force majeure declaration, which says that we will withdraw our, allegiance or whatever it is to the union. So that's what is we are for the 120 days. That then whatever happens, nobody should be blamed or put blame on the alliance territory because we have given sufficient time.
Thank you very much, Clifford. Thank you, Dr. Clifford Iranya, for that. I see a question here from Korede Ayeni. Is it Ayeni Korede? Please unmute and ask your question. Is that Kayode? Okay, I did not hear from you. How about Emoro Etefia? Efetia? I'm going to ask you to unmute.
I'm asking, okay, there you go.
Okay. Please speak up. Let's hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am excited with what is happening, with the momentum that Niners is getting, both in Nigeria and abroad. I am in the United States, and I want to say that it seems to me that there has to be some way to counteract what Buhari is trying to do. He's trying to make a scapegoat out of people, out of the Igbos, out of people in the Southeast. I mean, troops were sent to that part of the country saying that the IBOP people, terrorists, and so forth. However, my question would be that, why did he not send troops to the Southwest when Ametakun was formed? Why did he not send troops to go there and counteract that, what they did there, what the governors did there? So I am saying personally that there has to be a way, Igbos, Yorubas, other ethnic nationalities in the South, or the Niger Delta and the Middle Belt are able to voice their support and their displeasure with what he's doing there. And how can Niners help do that? If other people speak out from other parts of the South and the Middle Belt that what you're doing, sending troops to go and oppress people in that part of the country, is wrong, because he's thinking like a military man. So this is my question, and this is what I'm saying has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a sleight of hand strategy by the president. He wants to fight the kind of war that he's familiar with, war that he can win, using the apparatus of a war machine that has been built since 1960 to fight a group in the East. And then he wants to make it the thing everybody is talking about. It's just like a boxer wanting to settle it in the boxing ring, a swordsman wanting to settle a fight with swords. So he wants you to fight the kind of fight that he can win. He's fighting the organization that he's fighting for. Let's just say IPOB does not have a military, does not have Air Force, Navy, or Army. And IPOB, well, Igbos are not all IPOB. It's just like me saying that not everybody from the 12 contiguous states that from his side of the country are all parts of Boko Haram. They are not. But that's exactly what he is trying to make of the Southeast, just to use it as an excuse to destroy people he has enjoyed killing for a very long time. And that needs to stop. I'm happy for the voices that are coming out of different parts of Nigeria, from the West, from the Middle Belt, from the South, condemning it. That's the strength of our alliance. Look at this forum right now. It is Middle Belt, Yoruba, South. We know what the headache is about Nigeria. We know his game, and we have already cornered him by taking down that foundation. And you mentioned something about momentum. The momentum is on our side. Every week, there's a stronger support for Ninas.
Absolutely.
More people are knowing about what we're doing. So we are growing. And yes, we are going to be, we are heading toward the right direction. Momentum is on our side. Korede, are you back? I gave you audience to speak earlier and then I didn't hear from you. Please unmute,
yes,
and then let's see if we can hear you.
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. I just want to thank you for putting together this program. I'm speaking to you from Western Australia. I need us to be aware that what is going on at the moment with our brothers in the East is a deliberate psychological warfare. They are deliberately harassing our people in the East. Those in the West and other parts of the country. This is not just the only strategies that are being used by the government to weaken the resolve of the nationalities within Ninas. They have tried the religious angle, trying to divide us along Islamic and Christian line, but it is the issue on ground is much more than religion. Because even if you are talking about religion, the nationalities Fulanis claim to be Islam, but they are not practicing the true tenet of Islam. What they are focusing on is basically to take over our land, our ancestral land, kill people like they are doing to our brothers in the Middle Belt, and bring people, their own nationalities from the northern part, from Mali and Niger, to come and take over. And the president is also supporting this. So it is much more than religious issue. And they believe that the land Nigeria is their ancestral, heritage. And this is something that is deplorable. So what we are doing at the moment with the constitutional force majeure is very welcome, and we need to continue to work together. And I want us also at individual level to be comfortable with the way we see ourselves. Over here in Western Australia, when I meet my brothers who come from the region called Nigeria, we introduce ourselves as Igbo Nigerian, Yoruba Nigerian, Edo Nigerian, and so forth and so forth. Because Nigeria may be no more tomorrow, but the native, our primary language and nationality will continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Adeoye King. Did we talk to Adeoye King already? No, we didn't. I'm having difficulty. Okay. Let's go to Bola. Is Bola Ladoja available?
We need to start wrapping up too.
Yes, we need to wrap up. And
yeah.
I think at this point, actually, I was trying to mute. Okay, that's okay. Yes, please, Bola. let's hear from you. We're going to wrap up after this, actually, because of time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, first of all, I commend you for.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you. My question is this: the petition that is out asking for a referendum, please, how many months do we have to do it? Because I know normally it goes for 6 months. That's number one. Number two, when you
I'm not hearing you very well. Please pick up. Draw closer to your mic, please, so we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I said the petition we have, normally is supposed to go for 6 months. Even if the petition, we have to send it within 6 months. How many months do we still have? Because it's like the petition has been out before. Number two, when you sign petition before through change.org, you normally count. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. You know when you are 1,000, 2,000. But this one, we don't see anything. We are just signed. We don't know how many people have signed so far, and we don't know how many more do we still have to sign it, so that it will not expire, something like that. And we don't know how many people have signed so far. That's just my question. Thank you.
Thank you. We can actually activate that. The counter. It was there earlier, and yeah, thank you for your comment. And the petition, we can put the counter in there. And what I can report to you is that the past week we have experienced an upsurge in support in people signing the petition. And the history of the petitions, right? We started with change.org, and then there were things going on in that platform that were not. Change.org was sending out these things to people requesting donations, and people thought it was NINAS, and it was not NINAS. So it was more like a fundraising effort by change.org, those that owned the platform. And that was why we actually resorted to building our own petition platform. So we have, that's why we moved over to this one. And we made it also, we customized it in such a way that some of the restrictions that you faced in change.org and other things were not there. It also was designed for somebody who lived in the kind of society that we live in. Somebody who may want to sign a petition, but they may not have a telephone or an email address or things like that, but they can identify themselves through the village, town, and local government area that they come from. So this is a customized thing that we put together. We can always activate that counter, but good things are happening there. And I thank every one of you for joining us today. I am so sorry for the sake of time. Adeoye King, we couldn't get to you. I don't know if it's technology or what. Foluke Oladipo, how are you? Jen, can we take a couple of questions? If you can just take your comments to just 1 minute. I just want to, just the three of you, please just say one thing, 1 minute each, and we'll wrap up. Let's start with you, Foluke. Just one, if you can unmute, please. Just
okay.
1 minute and say something.
I really want to thank you. I want to appreciate you, everybody in the NINAS, working so hard to make this thing a reality, to make this work, what it is today. I came in very late, so I may want to just ask 1 or 2 questions. And then I want to also encourage, because where we're coming from, we all know, but where we are right now is horrible. And what is happening in the South?
Please let me cut you off. Bring your question next week. And okay. For today, because of time.
It's just one. I think okay. I just wanted to confirm yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah, what I want to confirm is because the NINAS something we're supposed to sign. I saw it yesterday and I was so excited about it, and then I started posting it to so many groups, all the phone numbers I have and everything. And then this morning I read that it's fake, that it's from the politician. And I was so shocked. And then they said,
which one is that? Which of the sites? Which of the sites did you go to?
Well, we have posted, if you look on the chat, we have posted the site, the NINAS referendum Demand
Okay.
referendum. That's the right one. I've been posting it on the chat. So everyone needs to be signing that one. Okay. Because there was one that was out previously where it was a poll and they said that they were going to be providing the poll results. That was not a referendum.
Okay, the one I saw yesterday, it has Yoruba, the Southeast, the South-South, the South East, South-South, and the Middle Belt. Is that
Right.
the one?
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
why would
It's
they say
Ninas
it's
is at
not?
ninasffn.org. NINASFFN.org.
It's real,
Demand
yes.
referendum.
Thank God at least it's confirmed because I've written out again that it's fake, it's by the politician. Don't sign
No.
anymore, don't post anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see the information in the chart just to make sure it's the right one. It's in the chart. And everyone, you know, as Johnny said earlier, we've had maybe 5,000 people sign in the past few days. So you need to keep up what we're doing. We need to push harder, okay?
Yeah,
And that's why
so
we're
what
doing
we
this
need
mass
to do,
mobilization.
thank you very much. I really do appreciate. So what I feel we need to do now, because I understand the Yorubas and the Igbos, they're forming a formidable security group, you know, to defend our people. We need everybody to come together, the South-South, the Middle Belt, the Middle Belt, and then the Southeast.
Right,
So we
that's-
can form a
that's
formidable
Ninas.
team, you know,
Yes,
for
that
the
is
security
Ninas.
team that the federal government will not be able to do nothing because all their game is up. But
Okay, thank you
unfortunately,
very
they are
much.
using the money, you know, the weapon of the economy to destroy our people, you know, because
Right,
they don't
thank you
have the
very
money.
much. We do have to be moving on. So Johnny, can you
Thank
please
you
wrap
very
up?
much. I'm
Thank
so
you
glad.
so much. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you
Well,
guys.
okay, please provide us
You
with
are
your
doing a great
information.
job.
Make sure we have your
We are going to
information.
win at the end of the day. They are not going to
Amen.
destroy
Thank
our
you.
lives.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure. I'm glad I gave you a chance to speak because you gave us some really valuable information. I'm so glad that you got to speak, especially about that forum and the encouragement that you gave us. I really appreciate you. We're going to have to, I'm tempted to just go on, but I have to wrap it up right now. Please, other questions and comments, bring them next week. I thank everybody for joining. I'm going to unmute everyone. We're going to stop the recording and then we're now going to ask everyone to you know, if you want to speak, unmute yourselves and speak. Jane, could let's say I'm going to stop the recording at this right now. Recording stop.